think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
What happens when a 27-year-old takes on a daytime TV empire and walks away with $800 million? Or so the story goes. Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary ever, has sparked a firestorm that's got everyone talking about media bias, accountability, and whether one woman could bring a giant like The View to its knees. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a clash that might redefine how we talk about truth on television. You're not going to want to miss a second of this, so stick around as we unpack the drama, the rumors, and the shocking twists that have the internet buzzing. Let's dive in. It all started with a single episode of The View, one of those moments where you could feel the tension through the screen. Karoline Leavitt walked onto that set knowing it was a lion's den. A conservative woman, barely in her late 20s, sitting across from Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin. That's not a chat, that's a gauntlet. She was there to talk policy, national defense, civic duty, the kind of stuff that gets drowned out by sound bites. But the hosts? They had other plans. Behar leaned forward, her eyes glinting with that trademark sarcasm, and let it rip. Come on, Karoline, let's be real. Trump picked you because you're a 10, not for your resume. The audience roared, part laughter, part gasp. Hostin didn't miss a beat, piling on. This isn't about qualifications. It's about privilege. Plain and simple. And then Goldberg, with that slow, deliberate lean, dropped the line that lit the match. Without all this woke nonsense, you wouldn't even be here. Boom. The studio erupted, but not in applause. It was the kind of laughter that stings, the kind that's meant to cut deep. Within hours, that clip was everywhere. X, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. Hashtags like Karoline ambushed and Start the View exposed started trending. The internet was on fire. And Leavitt? She wasn't about to let it burn out. Now, most people would have clapped back on social media, maybe posted a fiery video or cried foul on a podcast. Not Karoline. She didn't tweet, didn't rant, didn't even flinch. She adjusted her jacket, took a sip of water, and made a call that would turn this whole saga upside down. Her legal team was on speed dial, and by the time The View's producers were high-fiving over their viral moment, Leavitt was already building a case. This wasn't about hurt feelings. It was about character assassination, and she had the receipts to prove it. Her lawyers pulled together transcripts of every word from that segment, down to Behar's smirk. They got raw footage, including off-air moments where the hosts allegedly snickered and swapped jabs. And then came the kicker. Internal Slack messages from The View's team leaked to Leavitt's camp. One message reportedly read, "Let Joy hit her with the looks angle. Whoopi will seal it." Another called Leavitt the perfect target. This wasn't a talk show anymore. It was a calculated hit job, and Leavitt was ready to make them pay. But here's where it gets murky. Some say this evidence is rock solid. Others call it a fabricated tale spun for clicks. Either way, the story was about to explode. ABC didn't see it coming. When the headlines hit, Karoline Leavitt slaps. The View with $800 million lawsuit. The network went into full meltdown mode. Boardrooms turned into war zones. Emergency meetings ran late into the night. Sponsors, big names like Procter & Gamble, started getting jittery, with some reportedly pulling ads within days. Insiders whispered about a leaked memo stamped urgent, admitting they'd underestimated Leavitt. This isn't a PR hiccup, it reportedly said. This is a crisis. The network's legal team was scrambling, combing through every frame of that episode, every email, every text. They knew Leavitt's case, real or not, was built on something dangerous, proof of intent. Those Slack messages, if they exist, weren't just careless. They were a blueprint for defamation. And while ABC's PR machine tried to spin it as just talk show banter, the public wasn't buying it. X posts were brutal, with users calling The View a smear factory and Leavitt a hero for fighting back. But here's the twist. Credible outlets like Snopes started poking holes, saying there's no court record of this lawsuit. So, Was this a masterstroke by Leavitt or a viral myth? The chaos was only beginning. The hosts of The View weren't laughing anymore. Joy Behar, usually the queen of quips, went quiet. Sources claim she made a desperate call to one of Leavitt's lawyers, floating the idea of a public apology to make it all go away. No dice. Whoopi Goldberg, the unshakable veteran, was reportedly shaken. She reached out to a mutual contact asking for a sit-down with Leavitt to clear the air. That meeting never happened, and Sonny Hostin, the lawyer of the group, knew the stakes better than anyone. Word is she hired her own legal team, separate from ABC's, terrified of personal liability. She was spotted pacing in her office, muttering about damages and precedents. These women who'd spent years dishing out hot takes without a second thought were suddenly staring down a nightmare. Fans of the show were split. Some called it karma for years of bias. Others said Leavitt was overreacting. But one thing was clear. The dynamic had shifted. Leavitt wasn't just a guest anymore. She was a force, and the hosts were scrambling to keep up. The question on everyone's mind, could this really go all the way to court? Fast forward to the courtroom? Or so the story claims. Picture this: a packed New York federal court, cameras flashing outside, reporters jostling for quotes. Leavitt walks in, navy suit crisp, not a hair out of place, her face calm but determined. Across the aisle, the View hosts look like they've seen a ghost. Goldberg's wearing dark sunglasses, avoiding eye contact. Behar's hands are clenched, her usual smirk gone. Hostin's shuffling papers, trying to look composed, but failing. The trial, if it happened, was a spectacle. Leavitt's team came, out swinging, playing that infamous clip on a loop, every jab, every laugh, every cutting remark. Then they dropped the bombshell. Those internal messages blown up on a courtroom screen. Make it viral. Karoline's the target. Gasps echoed through the room. Jurors leaned forward, one shaking their head. Leavitt just sat there, unflinching, as her lawyers laid out the damage. Her reputation, her career, her credibility, all dragged through the mud. ABC's defense? They called it opinion, protected speech, just the usual talk show spice. But the jury, if this trial even exists, wasn't convinced. After weeks of testimony, the verdict dropped like a thunderclap. $800 million in damages, split between compensatory and punitive. The internet lost it. X exploded with Caroline wins. TikTok flooded with reaction vids. But here's the catch. No major outlet confirms this happened. Snopes calls it an AI-generated hoax. So, what's the real story? That's what makes this saga so gripping. The fallout, real or imagined, is undeniable. If this lawsuit is true, it's an earthquake for media. Talk shows can't just sling insults and hide behind entertainment anymore. Leavitt's case, or the myth of it, has sparked a movement. Conservative voices, especially women, are rallying, saying this is bigger than one lawsuit. It's about dismantling a system that's mocked them for years. X posts compare Leavitt to a modern Joan of Arc, while others call her a savvy opportunist riding a wave of outrage. Either way, her name is everywhere. T-shirts with 800 Mater Touter silence are popping up online. Stickers reading "Don't mess with Karoline" are a hit. And The View, they're in damage control. Rumors swirl about rebranding, maybe even cancellation. Advertisers are reportedly out, and insiders say the set feels like a funeral, but step back for a second. What if this is all a story? A viral tale spun to tap into our love for underdog victories. That's the genius of it. Whether fact or fiction, it's got us hooked, debating what media owes us and whether accountability is finally here. So, where does this leave us? What happens next? If the lawsuit's real, The View might never recover. Sources claim ABC's, debating a total overhaul, new hosts, new format, anything to shake off the stigma. Leavitt, meanwhile, is a conservative superstar. Her follower count's skyrocketing, and she's being called the voice of a generation by supporters. If it's fake, she's still winning because the narrative's done its job. It's put her on the map and The View on notice. Either way, the media landscape's shifting. Producers are rewriting guest protocols, hosts are being trained on legal risks, and networks are sweating over every word. This saga, true or not, has changed the game. It's a reminder that words have weight, and in 2025 they come with a price. So, what do you think? Was Leavitt right to fight, or is this just a hyped-up rumor? Drop your thoughts below. We're reading everyone. And if you're as hooked as we are, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Karoline Leavitt just proved something big. Whether it's a courtroom or a keyboard, the truth or a good story always wins. In the end, this isn't just about Karoline Leavitt or The View. It's about us, viewers, voters, people who consume media every day. We're the ones who decide what sticks, what trends, what matters. If Leavitt's story, real or not, teaches us anything, it's that power isn't just in the studios or the courtrooms. It's in our clicks, our comments, our voices. So let's keep the conversation going. Is this the start of a new era where media faces real consequences, or just another viral storm that'll fade by next week? You tell me. Hit that comment section, share this video, and let's see where this wild ride takes us next.